right, and we'll start with you and go this way.
All right. My name is James Nave III.
All right, the third, okay. So can we say J3 or?
JN3.
JN3?
Yeah.
All right.
Or Trey, people call me too. But I'm from here. I'm from Anderson originally. I moved here in Indianapolis about 10 years ago and stuff. So
Okay.
don't know what else you need to know.
All right, and what's your background, I guess?
I work in architectural drafting and design. So my company, I'm the head of architectural design for my company.
Okay.
We design commercial restaurants and kitchens.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool. All right, awesome.
Nice.
My name is Yannick. I moved to Indy about 8 months ago. Actually, yeah, 9 months. I work for a private company here in Indy. I'm doing data sciences, basically in the biotech industry. So,
Okay.
What did you say you do again?
data science. Data science.
Data science? Okay.
Yeah, but
I'm Tisa. I've been in Indy for a while.
okay.
I would say 10 plus years.
That's a while.
Yeah, it's a while. It's a while. Been here for, I'm in finance. Work for a hospital. So, yeah, that's my background.
Okay. So JN3.
Yeah.
Okay, you're from Anderson.
I'm from Anderson, but I live here.
Okay now. Okay.
Yannick.
And you're from
Yeah, I am from Cameroon. We are
Cameroon?
Canada, so I moved from Canada.
in Canada. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. How you guys doing?
Tisa.
Tisa, and you're from.
Originally I'm from
I think it's
Chicago.
open now. So
But
you
I'm
can tell.
from Indy too. I'm a Hoosier too, I can say that.
All right, so we say Indy. And then you want to introduce yourself, and I know you're from Chicago, but everyone else may not know. So we're just introducing ourselves and saying where we're from and our background.
Okay, I'm from Chicago. My background is in a lot of things, recreation, electric vehicles. Right now, I'm a store manager at Walgreens.
All right. And the floor is yours.
I'm Roberta, and I am born and raised in Indy. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. But I am in healthcare. I'm expert tech, actually. So,
All right, cool.
yes.
Thank you. I am George Roddy III. Hey, and I got the fourth too.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah?
Yeah, I stopped there. I'm sorry, man. Sad jokes, okay. I'm in IT. I've been in IT for 40 years. So I've done a little bit of everything this time. And as I'm getting ready to exit, I'm looking at, what to do. Nobody can really retire anymore. I mean, or you're young, it used to be when you were 65, you were old, but now, I ain't 65 yet.
Oh, okay.
I ain't 65 yet. I just turned 59, just had a birthday.
Congratulations. Happy belated birthday.
Yes, and, but I'm real close,
Okay.
So I'm just kind of looking to see what I'm going to do next. I'm done with IT a little bit. It's always going to be in the background.
Okay. So you might be hacking people's stuff. That's cool.
You called me out, didn't you?
Yeah. You said IT in the background, so. All right. And the floor is yours.
Hi, I'm Zaria. I'm originally from here. Just graduated from Alabama State with my bachelor's in accounting. I currently work at Ernst & Young, and I invest in real estate as well.
Okay.
I went over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ernest,
So my name is Leland Baptist. I'm actually from North Carolina. I moved here back in 2013 when I graduated. The job that I started working with was with Dow Chemical. After that, started working on my own. And my wife is from California, and she and I both moved back to Indianapolis in 2015. So my background for school, agriculture economics, and finance. And I am actually a private banker, work with people in reference to real estate and acquiring businesses. That's what I do for a living. I have cards here, things like that, but this is not for a sales pitch. This is actually meant to really to help people understand what a trust is, people who may not know. for those of us who don't know, and then how we can use it to actually in our daily lives or businesses. So that's really the whole purpose of this. It's not for me to advertise my company. So that is that. So now we can begin. We all know enough about each other, right, to say that we can identify. All right, cool. So we have finance people here. So what is a trust? Or what do you think a trust is? There's no wrong answer with this. There's no wrong
Almost
answer.
like a savings, or not a savings, but just a protection,
Protection?
asset protection.
Vehicle?
I don't know, vehicle, yeah.
All right, cool. So we can say asset protection. Cool. Anyone else? There's no wrong answer. We're all here to learn and to grow, develop together.
Could be a fund.
Could be a fun, absolutely, yeah. Anyone else? No? No one else? All right, cool. So a trust can be a fund. It can be very, very well for asset protection a lot of times. But essentially, a trust can be a barrier or a pass-through entity that you so desire at any time. All right, that's the best way that I can put it without getting real technical. One thing about me, real quick, is I am good at what I do as far as acquisitions. I'm not big on terminologies. That's just not who I am. I don't care about all that technical stuff. I'm a straight shooter. So I'm not going to bore you guys with definitions. I'm going to actually give you guys like real things that I use this for and how you can use it too without having to pay an arm and a leg for it, okay? So, normally for a trust, normally there are two different types. You normally have like, does anyone know what the two primary trusts are? Huh?
Living trust.
Sure, living trust, but what type of living trust can we have, maybe? You just guess.
Individual.
Individuals, okay.
Yeah,
Huh?
irrevocable.
Yeah, absolutely. Irrevocable. I'm not good at spelling. I don't even care. That's not my thing. Irrevocable, what else we have? What's the opposite of irrevocable? Revocable. Cool. Yeah. So we got irrevocable and revocable. Just by guessing, what is possibly the difference between the two?
One can be changed.
Yeah, that's it. So this whole thing was meant to make people feel like it's difficult. It's not.
Doesn't say.
It's not. It's really not.
It's designed to be.
It's designed to make you feel difficult, right?
Well,
If I
it's
start
designed to
saying-
be so it can't be changed, but it can't be changed.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, if we were to get really snooty about it, it might tell you all the different benefits, this and that. Basically, it just means that one can be changed and one cannot be changed, right? Why would someone not want their trust to be changed? Because if we're talking about asset protection, it could be a fund, right? This could be a way that I can transfer wealth, right? Why in the world would I want my fund, my transfer of wealth, and my asset protection not to be something that can be altered? Just guess. Yes, sir.
Just actually as a way to protect the asset. Like if you want to
Could
pass
be.
it to somebody, you don't want them to be able to change it.
Yes.
Change the terms, right? Like
Yes.
if you want to pass it like over generations, you don't want it to be changed, by one of the beneficiaries.
Yes.
Without getting technical,
Yes.
can't you still change an irrevocable trust?
Can you still change an irrevocable trust?
Thought I was reading up on that.
It gets kind of tight when you can, but here's the deal.
You can have a will too. You can have a will and a revocable trust. That's how you do it.
Cool. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
So most people get wills, but they're supposed to get.
That's basically it.
That's
But
basically it.
that's basically it. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Some go get the will. Get both if you want to say.
If you have a, let's say,
Because it get taxed. The will gets taxed prorated to the court.
what does it tax? Yep.
This doesn't get taxed.
But I don't want to get too technical yet.
Okay.
Who here has seen who here knows or has seen a grandparent that has a house, but the house has a mortgage on it?
I know people. Yeah.
Okay, so 2 people, 3 people. All right, cool. Let me give you guys an example real quick of how this works. I'm not an artist, So it is what it is. But here we go. This is meant to be a house. Alright. Okay, here we go. So grandma owns a house. God bless her soul. But she owes money. This could be money owed to FHA. This could be money owed to BOA, Bank of America, JP, and so forth. Okay. And what normally happens is, if your grandma passes away, I don't care if she owes $5 to these people or 10 million. When your grandmother passes away, and you say, hey, JP, hey, BOA, hey, FHA, I want to, this is my grandmother's house. I wanted to buy her house, or I wanted to assume that mortgage. What will they tell you?
You have to pay off her what she owes.
Yeah, you gotta. So yeah, man, you can. Hey, no problem. You can take over. You can have grandma's house for your family or your inheritance. But we just need you to just, hey, just pay us off. So if grandma owes $100,000 and she died yesterday, how long do you think these guys will wait for you to pay them off? Not long. So in Indiana, we have this whole thing where
Certain states have different rules.
certain states, exactly, yeah. That's what I'm saying in Indiana. So in Indiana, we have this whole thing where you got probate, et cetera, and if it's in Indiana, you have probate, which will be, it could be 6 months to 6 years, or we have a foreclosure, which most foreclosures come from dead people, because dead people can't pay the mortgage, right? So in a foreclosure in Indiana, what happens here is our judicial, we are a judicial state, so our process is anywhere from 3 months to 9 months on average. That's our process, 3 to 9 months. So basically, what it means is that one of these guys will file a lawsuit against grandma. They'll send either mail to grandma's house or to a representative for grandma to basically take them to court to sue her for this amount plus any lawyer fees. All right. So that's how Indiana does it. What would have happened if grandmother were to put the property into a trust? What are the things that would have happened? You guys, it's all good. There's no wrong answer. What do you think would have happened?
More time to pay off.
You would think you would have more time to pay it off. Okay, so you get a time horizon. What else do you think would have happened?
Well, would it have gone to the heir? I mean, without having to go to the bank and say I want to assume the house? Like, would it just automatically just transfer over?
Would have automatically transferred. So, if I put a property into a trust, so in any process in life, I can put a property into a trust. We wouldn't have to wait until someone passes away. We could, if grandmother was on her deathbed, we could put that asset into the trust. Now, this mortgage, this loan, that would always be in grandma's name, even if grandmother is dead. You feel me?
That's good.
You damn skippy.
That's what rich people
I'm
do.
sorry. Yeah, that's good.
It's
That's what
perfect.
rich white people do.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what they do.
Yeah.
They don't-
But isn't it too easy? Like
no,
too easy?
your debt is your debt.
What do you mean when you say too easy? Help me out.
Because I thought of exactly saying, okay, well, it's protected, but I think it's kind of, to me, it's kind of too easy.
It's a
like,
loophole. It's a loophole. That's why we got President Trump.
What's the
loophole.
catch?
So if you
Let-
feel
let
like,
him
if
explain.
you feel like, let's say you have a terminal disease, right? And you have a house, let's say you still owe 100,000.
Yes.
And you want your kid to benefit from it, so you can put it on a trust, knowing that you're going to pass away, and then when you're dead, the bank cannot come to your kids and say, we need the money for the house.
So hear me out. I'm not saying that you steal from the bank. That's not what I'm saying. So in other words, I'm not saying that because you change the ownership from grandma to ABC Main Street that you don't pay the bank. Is that what you're alluding to? So that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's not what I'm saying.
You still make
Because
the monthly payments.
You
but
still make the
just
monthly
don't-
It
payments.
You
just
don't have to
transfers
put it in
over
your
to
name.
you and not,
Yeah,
or it
technically-
doesn't transfer over to you, but you can still make the payments.
That's what I must understand.
Grandma.
Here's the deal.
You paying the grandmother alone?
Yeah.
Extremely wealthy people don't own anything.
No.
Does that make sense? Can anyone who works with clients that are very affluent, have you noticed that?
Own nothing.
Have you noticed that? Can you say it for some of us who don't understand?
So, yeah, but nothing's in their name, like.
Thank
nothing
you.
at all.
Isn't the same own nothing, control everything?
Thank you, but who said that? It was J.P. Morgan. That's who said that. Yeah. Seriously, they don't own anything. Only for whatever reason, only middle class and poor people think that it's important to have everything in their name. Okay. So let me say it this way: who here has heard of Paris Hilton? Who here knows where, I don't know, a Hilton hotel is? Who the fuck here thinks that Paris Hilton manages Hilton hotels? No. Right? Doesn't make any sense. So, but instead, what it is that Miss Hilton, Paris Hilton, she's a beneficiary of, it could be Hilton Estate, it could be Hilton Trust, it could be Hilton Fund, and you can really, it doesn't have to be Hilton anything, it could be named Trust Fund Baby number 5, honestly. You can name it anything you want, okay? Paris Hilton, on paper, owns nothing. If Paris Hilton were to go and run you over today, and your parents want to destitute, whatever they call it, so restitution, whatever. Restitution.
They don't got no money.
She ain't got no money. She's broke on paper. She owns nothing. You got me? Now, if someone else, executive number 2, runs you over, and your parents want them to pay for your stuff, and they have their house in their name, their cars in their name, every asset in their name, their wife's jewelry in their name, all that stuff. Yeah, your lawyer will liquefy them. Okay. So Paris Hilton is a beneficiary. Now, what's interesting about a trust is that who do you think is the manager of the trust?
The beneficiary?
Hell no,
No, is it?
never. No.
Usually there's it can be like a company, for example, or a lawyer or something.
No.
My man.
No?
Yes.
Set the trust up, you set the trustee.
The trustee is the manager, but that trustee could be XYZ LLC in Cayman Islands. Now, who manages XYZ LLC in Cayman Islands? Do you happen to know who manages that? No.
It would be another trust.
It could be another trust. Why would they do that though?
More protection,
More protection, but also
layers.
if the irrevocable trust can't be changed, then that means the revocable trust can't be changed, right?
So how does Paris get to her money then?
Right.
Ooh, easy.
She paid.
That's easy. She gets paid monthly, like any other trust fund baby would, either monthly or bi-weekly.
Okay.
Just because she's the beneficiary doesn't mean she doesn't get any money. Actually, this word, someone look this word up for me real quick and just read it. Tell me what the definition is. Just real quick on your smartphone.
It's just benefiting from something.
Yeah, but give me the exact definition. Because you can't be a beneficiary if you don't receive any money. You got me? So she has to receive money. That's the whole point of being a beneficiary. But anyway, what happens is in a revocable trust, anyone can change the operations of the revocable trust. Which means when Billy Bob got ran over by Paris Hilton, hypothetically, at that time period, you may have thought that I was a trustee for Hilton Estates. But hypothetically, at that time, the day before, I happened to transfer my trustee status over to Dave Short in New Jersey. And what happens is, if you sue me thinking that I was a trustee at that time period, and I wasn't, That's a wrongful suit. And you, who sued me, automatically lose. There's no way in hell you would know who was a trustee at that time. Because I could have made you the trustee for that day. I could have made you the trustee. I could have made the librarian the trustee. No one knows. You got me? So that's why they would use a revocable trust, because they can change it at any moment. Does that make sense? That's why most lawyers wouldn't even worry about suing her. They would try to settle. Because if they sue Hilton Estates, for example, and they get the wrong trustee, their law firm is going to get liquefied because it's a wrongful suit. Does that make sense?
But how would they know that that she had a revocable trust versus irrevocable?
Because with your trust, you can choose to record it and not record it. Here's the dangerous part of this. You choose whether it's recorded or not. Because this is a live document, it can change at any moment. All you know is that there is a bank account that says Hilton Estate. All you know is that the asset is owned by Hilton Estate. What you don't know is you don't know who the trustee is, and you're taking a shot in the dark. And so you can sue Hilton Estates 5 or 6 times, and each time you're suing the wrong person. Because normally the trustee has what's called a fiduciary responsibility. So in other words, that's the guy or woman who's responsible on behalf of the trust. But you don't know who that person is. All right?
So if I were to transfer the trustee to another person, would I have to get that in right?
Yeah, but those are your internal documents.
It's private.
Yeah, those are your internal documents.
So basically, Paris Hilton will hit somebody, and then she can say, "Oh, actually, yesterday I transferred my phone." So
Paris Hilton could hit someone, and what would happen is that the person. So to seek damages, you would sue the owner of the vehicle.
yes.
Well, Paris Hilton doesn't own the vehicle, so the person we would end up pursuing would be whoever's on title for the vehicle.
Yeah.
Paris Hilton wouldn't know anything about who's operating as far as the trust. Her lawyers wouldn't allow her to say, like, no, I know for certain that Bob is actually in an agreement with our family for the next 5 years. No, they wouldn't allow her to say that. You got me? They wouldn't even allow her to say that. Yeah. All right.
So Paris does know who her trustee is.
I would say most likely. Most likely. But I'm sure, she's not gonna liquidate her trust on behalf of, helping you walk.
So you don't even have to disclose who it is, even if they come and ask you for it?
It's a private business.
Technically, most beneficiaries don't know who the trustee is. It would almost be as if, let's say your grandmother started a trust fund for you right now, and she named you the beneficiary, and the operations of the trust have been going on for years and years. But let's say you don't even know you have a trust in your name. How would you know? You wouldn't know. Yeah. There's no paper trail for me to say, like, hey, I'm your trustee. You wouldn't know. In a trust document, you can name anyone the beneficiary without them knowing. You can name a homeless guy on the street the beneficiary.
But then if you're the trustee, then how do you prove if you have to do something like change it again that you were the trustee to begin with?
It's an internal document.
Or
Oh,
if,
so you still have the document, so you can just present that.
Like, at that point, I was not the trustee.
what if both the trustee and the beneficiary dies? What happens? I mean, you don't get the chance to change to.
So on a trust, and this one's a land trust. So the only difference between a land trust and a regular trust is a land trust is only for real estate. But on a trust, what happens is that you have the ability you can name as many as you want, but the average trust allows you to name 4 beneficiaries. Now, God forbid all 4 of you die at the same time. Well, shit, I mean, then it goes. No, seriously,
Yeah, I
it
know
goes.
it is.
It goes in. It goes into the hands of that state that you put that trust under
Oh.
the laws. But normally that wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? But for every trust, it goes. If number one dies, then who becomes the next beneficiary? If number two dies, then all the way to number 4 or 5. And then at that point, you can dissolve it and liquidate all assets related to the trust, or it goes in the hands of the state. You know. All right. So
So and sorry to
it's fine. It's no.
just do a little scope creep. So Paris now has this trustee and beneficiary. Now how does she set it up so when she passes on, it goes to her kids?
So normally when the trust is set up, or whenever they deem that she is responsible enough, she can, because it's an ever-changing document. So if let's say let's say that she comes to the age of 21 or 25, depending on what the trust says, she can then say, hey, I want to go ahead and set this up for my children. And what happens, guys, is the assets that are placed in the trust, the idea is that those assets hopefully never leave the trust. So let's say it's the Hilton family. The idea is that the Hilton family, the Hilton Trust, the Hilton State, the Hilton Fund continues to grow each and every year because more assets are being put into it. You got me? So, the crappy car that they had, right? Maybe the first house that they bought, maybe the next business that they buy, that's being put into the trust each and every year. So the value of the trust is increasing each and every year.
Is there a limit of how much or what you can put in?
No.
So you can have one trust and you can just put anything and everything you want into it.
Yep.
Question. So can the trustee of the LLC be the same trust
Can the trustee
for the LLC
of the LLC
be the same trust?
be the same trust?
Yeah, so can the LLC be put back into that same trust?
Can you put the LLC and the trust
So just so it's on the same page, the trustee you're asking can the management group be an entity LLC, and then can that entity LLC be owned by the trust? Yes.
So it just circles back around.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that though, but you
Okay.
can. Let me show you guys just a quick example of what normally happens with a trust. So we get this part, irrevocable. One is changing, one's not changing.
So a revocable one then can't be modified, changed, so Paris would be messed up.
She would be messed up.
If she was trying to change a revocable one.